Hello viewers and welcome to your Friday edition of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandra Moj and today we join you from the lovely Independence Beach here in Walfish Bay. Now you can literally smell that the festive season is almost here. The local and regional authority elections is behind us and the results is slowly but surely trickling in. You can always just check out our social media platforms to see how it's progressing so far. Now in today's show, we of course bring you the latest news, which includes something from Namib, which handed over or declared dividends of 100 million Namibian dollars and handed it over to government, which is the shareholder of Namib. We also get into the Christmas spirit, that is with the Walfish Bay Child and Family Centre, as they hosted their Christmas play and Christmas party that is on Thursday. Now, our main focus for today's show, we just reflect a bit back on, that is Living Desert Tours and Tommy Tours adventure into the Namib Desert, and then of course Rian Smith, that is back here in Swakopmund, and how he plans on making it louder. So you've got to stay tuned as we bring you all of this right here on Erongo Talk. Now, kicking off today's news highlights, the Namibia Ports Authority, that is Namport, declared dividends that is of 100 million Namibian dollars and handed it over to the shareholder, which in this case is government. Now, the announcement was made on Thursday by the Board of Directors chairperson, Nangulu Hamuniala, and who explained how Namport is in a favorable financial position for the past 2024-2025 financial year and how they are going to be improving on their services. Let's quickly take a look.
Financial performance, we are pleased to declare a dividend of 100 million to the shareholder for the year ended 31st of March 2025. 100 million Namibian dollars, not US dollars. The government has been pivotal in its support of our growth, and we are humbled to make this contribution to the fiscus. Honorable Minister, on behalf of the Namport Board, management and staff, we reiterate our deep appreciation of your unwavering support. Going forward, we will focus on entrenching sustainability, providing support to all industries of our economy, notably the oil and gas industry, and to complement our government's drive towards positioning Namibia as a logistic hub for the region and the economic development of our country. Honorable Minister, on behalf of the Namport Board of Directors, it is my honor to officially hand over this dividend of 100 million Namibian dollars to the shareholder. It is a great honor to be part of this positive development, and we remain committed to delivering even stronger performance going forward.
Now, secondly, we get into the Christmas spirit, that is with the Walfish Bay Child and Family Centre, who hosted their annual Christmas play and Christmas party at the centre, now more commonly known as Sunshine Centre. The executive director, that is Wendy Hushfield, talks to us a bit about their achievements, their challenges, and reflects on the past year.
Good afternoon from the Sunshine Centre. It's Wendy here, executive director. We would like to celebrate with you today, even though you can't be with us, as we commemorate Christmas early in November. It's only the 27th today, but it's Christmas at the Sunshine Centre. We thank Rossing Foundation and all our other sponsors that came through in order to put a smile on the face of every child here at the centre. We are celebrating with our stakeholders today. We have family members of 107 children gathered here. The staff members are joined in with their children, and it's an absolute wonderful day at the centre. And we just want to thank everyone who has contributed towards it. We know that there's been silent partners who were able to add an addition to the plates that we're serving today. So it's a blast filled with laughter, singing, music, Christmas carols, lots of entertainment from the children themselves. And we're just so overwhelmed and thankful for the general public and the support that we've had over the years so far. When I reflect on 2025, it's been a year filled with mixed emotions. And there are two things that come to mind for me. It's the vision of the center is to be a place of hope and strength. And I can truly say that the hope of the staff, the families, the children have been renewed. And their strength has also been fulfilled. In the sense that when we think of hope, when we go through transitioning, it's been a difficult year at the beginning because of so many losses that the center has experienced. The late Luzal Estrada, who was the previous executive director that passed on a year ago. We think of staff members who are no longer with us because they are not able to continue working at the center, but they were part of the pioneers that started the center. And we are thankful for the support that we've had, because amidst all the difficulties that the center has experienced, we've had a lot of blessings, we've had a lot of support, and we kick off the year feeling extremely strengthened because of the buy-in of community, and feeling truly that we have a place in not only in Walvis Bay, but also in the larger Namibian community, and that the idea of inclusion makes sense for us to a greater extent today. We look forward with a renewed sense of hope and strength also for 2026. There's a lot on our minds. We think of the fact that the center turns 30 in March of 2026. We've just had a groundbreaking ceremony, and we're hopeful to be able to garner enough visibility, but also enough support financially to be able to start the building project for the new center in Meersig. And we want to ask the general public to continue supporting us, to continue rallying behind us, because we need you. We are unable to do this without you. And because this is a community-based organization that is for the community, we want to involve the community as far as possible. We will also be holding an AGM towards the beginning of 2026, and we want to invite the general public to it, because it's important for us to continue living and working in transparency and fulfill the hopes of inclusion and participation. And I thank you.
Life is unpredictable, and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
And that's it from our news desk. You are always welcome to check out our various social media platforms to see what is happening here in Walvis Bay and around Walvis Bay. Now up next, we take you on that adventure with Tommy tours as well as living desert tours into the Namib Desert and hear about what local musician Rian Smith has to say.
I grew up in Swakopmund. I went to school here, I grew up here, and I just fell in love with the ocean. That's where my whole love for nature started. It started with the sea, doing a lot of fishing, diving, surfing, and I always knew I wanted to have a career in nature, but I ended up going to study as an engineer, electrical engineer. I did qualify as an engineer, and then I worked at Rossing Uranium, and after 2 years of working there, I realized this is not me as a person. I still want to be in nature because animals, nature, landscapes, plants, it's just fascinating. And so I left everything, and then I went first back to the sea. I did a deep sea diving course. I did commercial diamond recovery in Ludwitz Bay. I lived on the beach for a year, very privileged. In those years you could still do it, the early 90s. And I just started spinning ideas through my head. How can I survive but spend my life in nature. And obviously tourism will come, because with tourism, every day you're in these pristine, beautiful places. And Namibia has the most beautiful landscapes, I would say, in one country, the most varied, beautiful, non-touched landscapes in the world, probably in Africa, of varieties. And to be able to just share that with people, but still you need to make a living somehow. This is my passion, and it's just so special when tourists come and they ask you any question and you can answer it. So what is that plant? We give them the name. What is that animal? We give them the name. And wow, this is amazing. And just to see the joy in their face, that's really worth it. It makes every day special. It's another day at the office. My life is tourism. My life is this desert next to Swakopmund. This has been the biggest project of my life, to just bring it to this point that we can have this amazing, untouched, beautiful desert right next to town. This is about education. We've got such a beautiful inheritance. If you just look here, right next to Swakopmund, and it's so important that you know your backyard. Imagine you had this house and this beautiful garden, and you didn't even know what's going on in your garden. And this is the backyard of Swakopmund. It's a beautiful place. It's a special place. It's a unique place, and it's one of a kind on earth. And it's so important that the children that live here also get an opportunity to understand what makes it so special, to enjoy it. And once you understand something and you enjoy something, it's at that point that you cherish it and you protect it. Yeah, we've been doing this. We've been running these Living Desert educational tours. We started the Living Desert in the late 1990s, and in about 2005 we became more established, and about from that time we took thousands of children on educational tours. We don't just see it as a social responsibility, we do it out of love. People come and they approach us, they know what we're doing, and they ask us, you know, are you willing to share these wonderful things, these experiences and this beauty of our desert with the children, the less privileged children? And we do it out of love, and it's fun to work with them. You know, if somebody understands something, then they can see the beauty in it. But only once you understand it will you actually appreciate the beauty. And it's so important that the people of Swakopmund can understand this desert, because then they'll appreciate it. And once they appreciate it, they will protect it. And Swakopmund traditionally over all the years has been a tourist hub. It's one of the most important tourist destinations in Namibia. Important if we're going to attract people here, tourism, because that's the heartbeat of Swakopmund, that we look after what we've got and that we educate the children on what we've got. And in that way, they can utilize this beautiful desert and they can start careers in tourism, for instance. And we're trying to initiate that from our point of view, because I'm a tour guide, and I want to see more young upcoming tour guides that are passionate. And when you have passion, then you can really sell a product, and then you can and that's what makes Swakopmund so special and top of the tourism towns of Namibia. I remember we're standing here, we're very close to Swakopmund at the moment, and in the days before this was a park, we would have, literally behind me there would have been quad bikes and 4x4s. It would have been totally damaged. And today it's pristine right on the perimeters of town. And so we all need to be ambassadors. It's so important, because in that way we can keep it in this condition. And then it's always lovely to live in a place that has something beautiful to offer. Yeah, the Dorob has a long history. When we started these tours more than 25 years ago, this was an open zone. It was a free zone. People could do what they want to, when they want to, with whatever they want to. And they basically really wrecked the place. growing up here in Swakopmund, spent a lot of time in the dunes, realized there's a lot of endemic little animals, endemic plants, there's a special ecosystem, and we could share that. It was an idea. We could share that with foreigners and we could create a product. But the problem was we couldn't sell the product because it was all destroyed. So the plan was to try to protect this on our doorstep and to be able to promote it into tourism. And that's where the Dorob came in. It was a long fight, it was a difficult fight. With the help of Rod Braby, I would say he's the hero of the Dorob Park. He's the guy that really did the most. But a whole lot of us together created awareness that there is a problem. Rod Braby, he managed to secure funds through the World Bank, started up Nakoma. Nakoma is Namibian Coastal Management. This Nakoma went out and did surveys, and Nakoma became the interface between the public, the tour operators, and to the government. So they would collect the data. There would be meetings. It went on for 5 years, meetings every week, and they would collect the data. What do people want? What is the problem? What can we do? How can we solve this problem? And then they would take this information to government. And over a period of 4 to 5 years, the management plan was created through Nakoma on how to implement a park. But the Dorob Park is a very special place because it's the only park that has 3 cities in it. So you have people moving in the park, doing their daily things all the time. So you can't apply the same rules in Dorob as you do in Etosha. Etosha says no dogs. You can't tell everybody in Swakopmund you may not own a dog. So we have to be very careful. This is a people's place. We need to leave access for the people, for the public, and they need to enjoy it, but they need to keep it beautiful and pristine and protected. So it's been a long walk. It's been a tough walk. But if we look today, it's been worth every moment. The challenges are uncontrolled tourism, number one. Mass tourism that is not done in a proper way will just take everything and it will just start from the beginning again. And it's so important that the children, you can work with children. They're like clay. You can teach them things, they listen, you can mold them. Adults, they really have their own mind. So we really enjoy working with the children and teaching them about our future and the future of conservation. And that would be a challenge, is to get all the children on board and for them to understand. And once they understand, and it's also important that they benefit from this beautiful setup here, and tourism would definitely be one of the ways that they could benefit as adults. What was quite interesting for me, we stood here on the edges of Swakopmund in the Swakop River, and I was telling them about the desert and a little bit of history and a little bit of things, and then I took out a big chocolate. It was a Kit Kat, and I said to them, okay, I challenge you guys. You turn 360 degrees, look all around you as far as your eye can look, and the first person to see one single paper can have this big chocolate. And they all went, "Ah!" And eventually it was like they started identifying little pieces of sticks as garbage, and it just didn't work, and nobody got the chocolate. And it was just like their faces just hung. There was not a single piece of paper, and that's not just by default. That's because of education. It's because of what the tour operators do. It's because of what the public do. It's because of the pride that they have in this area. It's because of education. And then it was really funny. Now they wanted the chocolate. So I was just holding and I said, okay, so who of you want to be tour guides one day? And it was so weird. Nobody in the group wanted to be a tour guide. So then I said, okay, the chocolate goes to the first person that wants to be a tour guide. Boom! And the whole group were now tour guides. So that was really quite funny for me.
a professional musician for about 25 years now. I was born in Windhoek in Namibia, and I've been lucky enough to see the world through my music. I'm a father, and as I'm growing older, I'm starting to become more of a teacher as well as still a performer, and I love seeing new places and new faces, and I love writing songs. I think of all the places I've been, it shapes me a little bit every time I meet a different type of character that reminds me that we're not so different, and we're also all strangely unique. Music is one of those things that you can really see how it brings people together, and I've been lucky to see the best of people because I see them when they're having the best of themselves and having the best time. Crimson House started about 15 years ago, along with another Namibian, Arnu van Sail, and another one, Christoph de Chavannes Frucht. And through the years, we grew into different ways. We started as a blues band, and then we ended up as the backing band for a circus called the Trash Cabaret. And then we learned a lot of gypsy music and odd music from all around the world, and we became far more worldly. We've managed to travel all over and see very, very cool people. It's a very exciting band that's like a theater cabaret show as well as a festival experience.
Yeah.
Being a father, this is a great place to raise a kid, and I love this place. And growing up here myself around Swakopmund and Windhoek and all over, it was a very beautiful childhood to have. It was filled with nature and a very solid community, and I love that my daughter has such a strong community here, and so do we as parents, because it's really, Namibia is special. It's a small village.
Yeah.
And it takes a village to raise a kid. How it's changed my songwriting is thinking nursery rhymes are quite an interesting thing. If you listen to them long enough, you start accidentally writing some yourself. And I think that's the best kind of songs, is that if they're simple enough for a kid to grasp onto. And so when I'm writing, I'm trying to think, how would my kid dance to this? And also think about the topics I'm singing about, because I also think, what would she think if she had to wonder what the song is about? So the subject matter evolves as well. The way I define success now is being able to leave a good life for my kid, and that definitely evolved. The idea is to give her the type of life I had growing up, and to do that with music means that my success doesn't feel just outward of big audience or some kind of response, but really the life I can provide for her. That's it. I see an audience here that's still learning and kind of being trained in what it is to let loose. I think when we have a small village, a lot of people are very self-aware, because you look around you and you think, well, that's my boss and my sister and that, and you don't want to get too much out of your shell. So I'd like to see Namibians unleash themselves a little more. I see it sometimes, and it's definitely a smaller place. In a place like South Africa with 60 million people, most of those people in that audience are strangers, and they don't care what the other person next to them thinks. So if I have any purpose in this country, it's to allow people to think, who cares what they think about me? Enjoy the music, feel the music, experience the music. The best I can do in that sense is perform with a lot of people, collaborate with a lot of people, and along the way, if I see things where I can help in terms of the structures and venues themselves, advice to be given, advice to learn as well, it's anywhere I can help in any way. If somebody wants to create music or do something with it, reach out, and I'll give the best that I can do, and maybe just connect them with someone who knows if I don't know what is the right answer. But essentially, I think we should all help each other. And I think if anything, if we can, as they say, hold hands and work this together, it's going to take in a community or a village to raise this kid.
Yeah.
I think local support helps a lot. We don't have a ton of government support, so it's going to take the private sector coming in a lot more and helping where they can to book more local artists, to work with more local artists. I see huge budgets being spent on international artists, which is good in its own way, but a fraction of that will change a local's entire life. Some people or companies spend hundreds of thousands on international acts to come in here, where a local act will do just as well. And that money, if a quarter of it, would help the local economy in terms of the music economy a lot more than you can imagine. And a lot of the time they say creativity happens in isolation, and this is probably one of the most isolated places in the world. there's a lot of calmness here, and there's a good community. You can feel that people have each other's backs, and that kind of creates a sense of calm. And it takes calm to sit down and create something. Yeah. All I can ask for myself is to just do my best in this place, and I'd love to try and sing more of my own songs, and I'd love to hear a lot more locals singing their own songs. We all sing other people's songs to keep our locals happy, the people in the bars and the people in the pubs. But eventually we'll develop our own identity, and that is something that's going to be powerful. If the locals can also support and listen to local music and actually try and fall in love with it, because there's a lot of magic here. And I think, like any song, you listen to it enough, you'll love it. And there's a lot to be listened to here. And just going out, supporting the local acts if you see them. If you see an event happening, go out and support it. If I see an event happening wherever it is, I'll get involved, because that's the way we grow. If we support each other through our vendors, through the different events that get put on, through your neighbors putting on some kind of event, it's an amazing thing when it becomes self-supporting. You'll see me here at least once a month, maybe, and the rest of the time I spend my weekends still touring, and I'll be out and about in the rest of the world, but Walfish Bay Airport sees me every weekend.
And that's it for your Friday edition of Erongo Talk. Like I said, you are always welcome to check out our social media for some behind the scenes content, as well as to see what is happening here in our beautiful Erongo region. Now catch us, that is every Wednesday and every Friday. You've got to remember this, on 1up2.com or on NTV, that is DSTV channel 285 or GoTV channel 25. Now just to get you into the mood, we are officially kicking off with our December vibes, and I must tell you, it's going to be a lekker one, this one. So you can expect that is Erongo Talk on your kassie every single day from Monday to Friday. We're starting on the 8th of December, and you are not going to see only my gesiggie on your television screen or your phone screen or your computer screen. So please keep that in mind. We will see you again next week. Please keep safe. Bye-bye.